Yes. Perfect.
Yay.
Yay. Thank you, Caitlin, for being here. It's been a while, and I'm so excited to have you here. And I know that you have so many things to offer, so many things to share. And that's why I'm very excited and super stoked to ask you a lot of questions, because I personally had a fantastic experience with you with one of your great sessions. And I believe that there are so many things you can do and help so many people heal. So thank you
Thank you,
so
Amira.
much for
Thank
this
you. Thank you.
collaboration.
Yes, thank you. So grateful to be here with you today. You are such a beautiful spirit, and I'm so grateful we can do this collaboration together.
You. So I know that you do grace healing,
Mhm. Yep.
and I will give you space to explain to people what is that. And I know that you also do light language, and you have so many of this on your YouTube videos, which I will put all the links to your social handles in the description box so people can reach you. And you will also tell me about your website and how people can reach you.
Okay.
And I know that you also have a background in mental health. So would you like to start talking about mental health and your background in mental health, and how did you start on the spiritual journey to start with?
Yeah, thank you so much, Amira. Great questions, and so excited to dive into that. So, yeah, since I was a kid, about age 12 or 13, I feel like sometimes things are happening behind the realms or on the subconscious that we don't know about. And I started going to therapy at a really, really young age, not knowing that that would prime me for where I am now on this journey in mental health and psychology and all the things that I'm interested in. So about 9 years ago, I really, really dove into this spiritual awakening and journey and really became passionate about mental health because I had endured such suffering for so long, just the um, depression and the eating disorders that I experienced for 14 years came to a head, and I had to go into treatment for about 6 months for an eating disorder. I stopped drinking, and I really began to experience or become interested in things like energy healing, yoga, just crystals, everything you name it, because I said, I am ready for this change. I'm ready to not punish myself and hurt myself, or experience the suffering that I had been going through for about 20 years of my life. And I feel like the eating disorder and the mental health issues were actually a blessing in disguise because they were the catalyst for entering me into this spiritual path and this passion for truth and integrity and connecting on a deeper level with life, not just people but humans and nature. So yeah, my mental health journey began in 2015. I was in the Peace Corps. I relapsed, went into treatment, and then thereafter I just really dove into anything spiritual. I didn't know it was spiritual at the time, but I was into transpersonal psychology or crystals, and went going to yoga classes and just trying to do things that were really supportive and helpful for my path of healing. So I'm a huge advocate for mental health and finding holistic means of supporting that journey, just because treatment can be super helpful for people. But I have found since my recovery that things like grace or energy healing, life coaching, have all been super conducive and supportive to my journey. So, Eastern and Western medicine can be used in conjunction. So, that's kind of how my mental health journey began. And I feel like I'm still on the journey in some way. It's just shifted and evolved. I feel like I'm feeling more whole and complete within. And now I do these things because I love them. I love grace and energy healing, and I love all these things. It's not more of like, oh, I feel like I need to heal myself to love myself. Now it's like, I love myself and I love these healings and I love sharing it with everyone. So the mental health journey that I've been on has been such a blessing in disguise because it led me to things that I'm really passionate about, which, I'm very, very blessed and grateful for that. So yeah.
Wow, you have a lot,
Yeah.
you have a lot to share, definitely. So can you give a brief introduction about what is grace as well?
Yeah, so Graced, Diane P. Pfister, she is the creator of Graced. She's on Symbi as well. If anybody knows about body emotion code, it's kind of a the use of kinesiology to remove mental emotional blocks from the mental emotional or subconscious. So grace is kind of a branch off of the body emotion code where you utilize kinesiology muscle testing to release mental emotional blocks from the subconscious, because a lot of our actions, a lot of our behaviors are driven by our subconscious. So we think we're consciously choosing something, or why are we self-sabotaging? Well, a lot of it's coming from our subconscious. And what grace does is it helps release some of those subconscious behaviors or actions or thoughts that are preventing you from being in alignment with this higher state of consciousness. So we all vibrate at a certain level of consciousness. Everything has consciousness, trees, the desk. And when we take in grace, we can go a
Sorry,
couple
excuse
routes. Oh, you're good. Throat chakra. So yeah, you can go a couple routes with grace, but you can create a goal statement to release mental emotional blocks to be aligned with that goal statement. If you're wanting to have healthier connections or relationships or more money. Um, and then you can also go the consciousness route where you're releasing mental emotional blocks from the subconscious to help you align further with a higher frequency. As we heal, we begin to expand and expand consciousness, and your consciousness expands. So that's kind of the gist of grace. It's a very simple, effective tool with the use of kinesiology. I kind of equate it, I did it so much with Diane at the beginning because I loved it and I wanted to know more intimately about it. And I was like, this is therapy, 30 therapy sessions in one. Instead of talking in circles about something, you can just easily pinpoint the subconscious issue, pull it out with grace and let it go. So that's what I love about it, is just the simplicity of it. So
Um, and what about so you help people book grace sessions with you, so we will put a link to how people can have access to
yep.
that. Whatever the problem is, you can have access to that, and was my experience, I think. And then I think you will use the muscle testing to evaluate and get this. Yeah, I remember. And then you send them a report. So
Yeah.
what about your journey with light language? How did this start? And maybe you can also give a brief description of what light language is.
Yeah, such a great question, or yeah, insight. So I really became interested in light language, I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago. There's this beautiful lady on Simbi, and she had these light language drawings, and I was so like curious. I was like, these sound so abstract and just out there, and I want to connect to this. And finally, we were able to connect, and she did a drawing for me. And then she offered a class that kind of expressed the meaning and what's behind light language, where it came from. And I did the whole course, and it just was super empowering. And I was practicing on my own. I was so nervous to just do it around anybody else, because it's a throat activation. Basically, you're speaking from your heart. It's a non-linear form of communication. So I started practicing it on my own, noticing that it was really empowering and activating for just dormant parts of my DNA and all my chakras. So what light language activation to me in the most simple form is a language of your heart and soul. So your linear mind, your logical mind is not going to understand it. What it does, it bypasses that linear way of thinking and taps into that nonlinear, that subjective, that heart-based communication. So when you're speaking to someone with light language and they're laughing or they don't know what you're saying, their heart and their soul, their spirit completely understands what you're saying, but their mind is going, what the heck are you saying? So the logical mind's like, I can't understand this, but your heart and spirit completely understand it. So in simplistic forms, it's a non-linear form of communication that every soul and heart can understand. And it's a very, very powerful tool to activate dormant parts of your DNA and to just channel different realms. And for me, whether I'm sharing it on my YouTube channel, I love to share it on YouTube, or I do it at home with the animals because it feels so liberating. It feels so authentic and freeing, because it's just so subjective. So I really, really appreciate that about light language. Yeah.
Is everybody primed for having that kind of, I don't know what to call it, like a download or channeling, or is it kind of like, are there any filters that can actually block this kind of transmission? So anybody can try, anybody can have, because I also came across so many different kinds of light language. Like for instance, there is Lumerian light language. There are
Mhm.
many kind of light language. So what's your take on that?
That's such a really valid question. I don't know personally, but my feeling is that everyone can communicate with light language. Is it going to sound the same?
Not
No.
necessarily.
We all come from different, Atlantis, Lemuria, wherever we come from. So it's going to be completely different for everyone. But there has to be a level of awareness and openness to
Mm,
receive that type of communication and share it. So maybe not everyone thinks that they can do it, but intuitively, I feel that everyone can do it. Just because, I feel like everyone is intuitive or psychic on some level, but are they open to that?
mm.
No, and that's okay. That's their preference. So that's the same with light language. It's a gift that whether you choose to harness it or not, that's up to you. So
So, what kind of people can come to you for help when it comes to mental health problems? Who can
yeah.
knock on your door? Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. In my journey of healing and sharing sessions in grace and energy healing, I've had a lot of addicts that I've worked with. And I've had a lot of people with sexual trauma, which can lead to various mental health disorders. And I'm really, really passionate about that. So anyone, who's experienced that sense of powerlessness. When you're an addict, you're experiencing some sort of helplessness or powerlessness, whether that's an eating disorder, gambling, sex addiction, alcohol. You're trying to extract power from something that isn't natural to yourself. So I feel like I can really help those clients because I've been in that really, really hopeless, powerless state. And I also have that background with the sexual trauma where I can really understand and go to those really deep levels. And I want to protect and support those people and empower them so that doesn't happen again and that they can live a better life. So I feel like those are the two main types of clients that I attract, but I'm absolutely open and to anyone with any mental health background. Absolutely.
and what about light language? If somebody wants to have this experience, if somebody wants to see if they are open to that kind of channeling and downloading, and I mean, how can you also, what is the process they go through with you to kind of open up and blossom in that area?
That's such a great question. You know what I have found is that a lot of times when I'm doing a Reiki session, light language will come through. It doesn't come through for everyone, but there's times when I'm, on their heart and it comes through, and then I'm able to share it with them. And then they are like, well, what's that? And then we talk about it and they become really, really interested in it. Um, so I really have to be discerning on who and what I share it with because it's such a non-linear thing. But usually the segue is with the energy healing because sometimes a lot of channeling and downloads come through as I'm doing the Reiki. And then I'm able to share that with the client and they become really, really interested, or they're like, oh, that's really cool. So it's up for them to decide, I really want to experience more of this. So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And then, I mean, I'm on YouTube and I'm finding that there's people from everywhere. I mean, I don't have a ton of followers, but I have people from everywhere on there, and you wouldn't think that they would be interested, and they are. So it's just beautiful how open-minded and expansive our world is at
Yeah,
this
I
point in
mean,
time.
I love it. I love it. I cannot say that every single language speaks to me, but as you said, and like some languages, I find myself reacting to it, like laughing or sometimes even tearing up, or and you and I feel like my plants are even reacting to the light language when I play it at home. I
Oh,
love it. So
absolutely.
I'm definitely gonna try a session with you and I'm gonna share my experience with other people because sometimes as you said, like it's the analytical mind gets in the way and
Yeah.
that blocks you from speaking. And I think I remember that I loved the language that they were using in Avatar, like these songs, and
Yeah.
it's so liberating sometimes when you don't understand the lyrics and just go with the just the sounds, and we feel like, oh my God, that's such a liberation not to always use your analytical mind and intellectual mind for every single thing and just just enjoy something you don't understand, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Well, if your plants are loving it, think about it. All sentient beings, like animals, love it too. When I've done the sessions, they come up and they're laying right by me when I'm doing it. So it's so liberating,
yes,
it's
yes,
just diving
yes.
into the unknown. The essence of life is what it
and
is.
and sometimes I don't like the person's personal voice, but when they speak light language, it's different. It's different, like so. No, I believe it's very transformative. Maybe as you said, it's I always believe that when you are ready, the teacher appears. So every single experience, you have to be open for it, ready for it. So it's not, it might be for everyone, but you have to be ready for whatever experience, the universe calls to you or puts on your path. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, Caitlin, thank you so much. But I will put, can you say your website, how people can reach you? How can
Yeah.
people reach you?
So I actually predominantly use my Etsy. So I use my Etsy shop, which is Words of Bodhi 777. I will share the link with you so you can put it below. I also have an Amazon store with all my books, my published books on there, and I can share that link with you as well, which there a lot of my books are, activated or infused with Reiki as well. So there's that support factor. So yeah, those are the two main ones that I really, really use. So I will share those with you. And I'm so excited to support anyone on their journey that would like further support. And I'm grateful that I was able to share this journey with you as well.
Well, I'm so grateful for you as well. And I'm going to put the links below so people, if they want to explore more with Caitlin and see what she can offer and see and give it a shot if they resonate with what she said. So give it a shot, contact Caitlin and see if you guys can collaborate or she can help you with whatever she's like you are going through, because it's important to feel like there is somebody out there that that can help you and support you. We all have constant traumas and constant blocks and hindrances on our path. Nobody is exempt from that, but it's how
Right.
you bounce back. It's always how you come to that point of equanimity, how to stay equanimous, how to be centered again. It's not about avoiding the blocks, it's about going around it and knowing how to basically be centered and be in the awareness. So yeah, I'm so grateful
Beautifully said.
so much for sharing all your
Yeah.
gifts and all your knowledge here.
Yeah.
And we will have more talks with Caitlin about other different things.
Yeah.
We're gonna have girls talks, pillow talks, relationship talks, sex talks. So we have a lot coming up. So yeah, and we'll be excited to share all of this with you guys. Thanks again, Caitlin.
Thank you, beautiful. We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch and see you again.
Lots of love.